Am I the asshole for lashing out at my husband for using a picture of my son as his phone's home screen? I got married to my husband 4 months ago, and I have a 5-year-old son from my previous marriage, and my husband adores him. We were out at dinner last night, and I asked my husband for his phone to check payment options for our meal. I unlocked the screen and saw my son's picture as the home screen wallpaper. I asked my husband how long it's been there, and he said 2 months. I then got upset and pointed out that it was not wise of him to use a pic of my son as his wallpaper for strangers to see. He then went on to say that pretty much no one touches his phone, so I shouldn't worry about my son being seen by strangers. He said pretty much almost no one touches his phone, so I shouldn't worry about my son's pic being seen by strangers. I told him they don't have to touch his phone to see the iPhone home screen. He said I should relax because it's not like he posted it on social media. Besides that, he only used my son's pic as his home screen wallpaper to look at him all the time because he misses him when he's at work. I demanded he remove it, but he said no. I insisted and an argument ensued to the point where I got up, paid my part of the bill, then walked out. He went to a hotel because he was overwhelmed and texted me how deeply I hurt him. He then said he deleted the photo.
Am I wrong for admitting I got married for money and ruining my cousin's idea of love? When I was in my second year of university, I found out I was pregnant with my current husband's baby. We weren't officially dating at the time because my husband was a pretty arrogant playboy back then who only did casual. After the initial shock and discussions on if I would keep the baby, my husband and his family were very insistent we got married since they're strong believers in a 2-parent household and also because my father-in-law is a semi-public businessman and he thought this would reflect badly on him. I said no initially for obvious reasons, but I eventually agreed to it when my father-in-law offered to pay off all my student debt and make sure I could finish my degree after I had the baby. He offered me a lot of other financial incentives, and we have a prenup which will make sure I'll be okay if our marriage doesn't work out. Honestly, I had little hope. My husband actually changed a lot after we got married and after our daughter was born, so we've been very happily married ever since. Not many people know the real reason I got married so quickly in my family. Everyone thinks we were just really loved up and moved fast. My younger cousin is 18 and she wants to drop out of university to marry her boyfriend of 2 years. Her parents are against this, but she keeps using me as an example of why it's a good idea. I heard this from my mom initially and I wasn't going to get involved since we aren't that close, but it came up during a family Zoom party. She was talking about how my husband and I's love for each other made things work out for us and it would be the same for them. When I said, actually, I got married for money. I received mixed reactions from my family. My cousin is devastated and said I ruined her idea of love and being in a relationship was pointless now. One of my uncles took it incredibly personal and said I was a gold digger and he felt awful for my husband and how he doesn't know where my mom went wrong with me. For context, my mom was a single mother and seeing her struggle was part of the reason I agreed to getting married. A few of my other relatives said that that's something you should keep to yourself because it's disrespectful to my husband and our marriage. My cousin's mom is really happy with me though. So what do you guys think? Am I the asshole here? Am I wrong for not wanting my sister-in-law there when I have my gender reveal? I, 32 female, and my husband, 32 male, are about to announce the gender of our first baby. We live in another state from our families because my husband is in school. We've had 2 previous pregnancies that resulted in miscarriages. Both of our parents were there through the pain and sorrow. We thought it would be nice to let our parents know the gender first because they were there for us feeling what we felt. My sister-in-law called us a few days ago to find out what we were having. We explained to her that we weren't going to tell her until we told our parents first, but that we would tell her the very next day. She said okay and left it at that. We told each set of parents that we were sending a package that will contain the results. We explained we wanted to share with them first before we told everyone else. Once sister-in-law found out about the package, she asked my mother-in-law if she could be there when they opened it. Mother-in-law said it was okay for her to be there instead of asking us first if it was okay. I tracked the package and told them when it would arrive. My husband sent a calendar invite to his parents only. Today, talking to my mother-in-law, she mentioned that sister-in-law will be there as well. I mentioned to them that we would feel awkward because the package contains gifts just for them and that our intentions were for them to find out first only. My mother-in-law told me I would need to explain to my sister-in-law that she cannot be there because we are trying to make it more personal for the parents, and to avoid making my sister-in-law feel excluded from finding out. I texted her and explained that we are excited for her to find out what we are having, but we wanted to share the moment with the parents first. I explained that we would give her a call the very next day to share the news. Sister-in-law lost it. She called her mom and told her that we are excluding her and that we are not thinking about her at all. I explained the situation to my husband, telling him it wasn't my intention to exclude anyone, but when we planned it, we thought it was important for the parents to know first. My husband called his mom the very next day and explained the same thing I did. He told them that we wanted to share with them first, and we had planned to call sister-in-law the very next day. Sister-in-law tried to call me, but my husband decided to answer instead. She told us that when she had her baby reveal, she invited everyone and we should do the same. My husband told her she chose to do it that way and we are choosing it to do it our way. She told my husband she understood, but she didn't understand why she couldn't be there. Sister-in-law told him that she was upset and said some other mean stuff as well and hung up on us. My husband and I feel like our gender reveal to my in-laws has been ruined by the drama. So, are we wrong for wanting to share with our parents first?
Is it okay that my boyfriend insists on me washing myself before any sexy time? My boyfriend and I have been together for 6 months, but we've broken up 4 times. Altogether, we've probably only spent about 3 months together. He pursued me really hard. We met at work, and the first day we met, he asked me out. I kept saying no because I really don't want to focus on guys right now. I have a really good career in fashion, so dating was not in my plans. Kept on insisting and doing very nice things for me, like he would bring me my favorite coffee or bring me my favorite foods. I finally said yes when he brought me a basket full of my favorite snacks from Whole Foods. He told me that he basically went around asking everyone what they saw me eating. And then he went to Whole Foods and bought everything and made a basket for me. I was really flattered, so when he asked me out again, I said yes. I thought maybe he'd be a really kind and just considerate guy, but things are not like that. We went on a total of 5 dates before anything happened. When it finally came time to doing it, we were at my apartment and he insisted that I go take a shower. When I asked him why, he said he prefers for everything to be clean. Obviously, I got offended and said, I am clean. He then rolled his eyes and said, okay, never mind. So we proceeded to do it. Everything was pretty normal after that. He was really affectionate and kept complimenting me. A few days later, it was going to be our second time. But before anything starts to happen, he once again asked me to go take a shower. I asked him if I smelled bad or something, and he said, no, I just think that you should take a shower. I decided to keep my cool and I went and took a shower. But the routine stuck. Every single time we were going to do anything, he would ask me to go take a shower. Now I wonder what you might be thinking. No, I do not smell bad. I usually take 2 showers a day anyway. One in the morning after working out, and then one at night before getting into bed. So I know I don't smell bad. But now it's a total inconvenience. Every time we want to do it, he asks me to go take a shower. Even if I'm dressed, even if I have makeup on. So I started avoiding it at all cost. Anytime he would ask me to do it, I would just say no. Because of this, we actually broke up for 2 months. When we got back together, it was the same exact thing. I actually even began associating sexy time with being dirty. Because he would insist so much, I would actually start to feel shame. I knew that I was clean and I washed myself multiple times a day, even when I knew I wasn't going to see him. I decided to reach out to an ex-girlfriend of his on Instagram, and I asked her if she had the same problem with him. And she proceeded to send me paragraphs and paragraphs of all the things that he made her do. Not only would he make her shower before sexy time, but he would make her brush her teeth before kissing, and fully removing her makeup too. I told her that my theory was that he must have had a bad experience with some other girl. Then she told me her theory, that he likes being in control, and that the only reason he asked us to do all these things was so that he could feel in control. By the way, her and I are now friends, so here's what I did. The next time I saw my boyfriend, I asked him to take a shower. And guess what? He got totally offended. I pulled him up on the fact that he makes me shower every single time, and he said that I should be happy to do whatever it takes to make him happy. Now I refuse to take a shower whenever he wants me to. And because of that, he's always in a bad mood. He even told my best friend that I wasn't a considerate girlfriend. How dare he complain to her? Now here's the thing. I'm very attracted to him and I feel like I'm falling in love with him, but this is the only thing that's holding me back. He even mentioned moving in together. What should I do?
Am I the asshole for insisting that my boyfriend pay me for breaking my $3,500 model ship? My female 33 dad passed away and left me one of his last and favorite ship model. I had it on display in my living room, but for some reason I actually never mentioned it to my boyfriend, male 37 of 6 months. Well, the other day him and his boyfriend came over to my place to celebrate his birthday. They got drunk and started throwing the sofa pillows at each other, and I told them to stop and went into the kitchen to clean up. I then started hearing loud noise and walked out the kitchen and saw my model ship in my boyfriend's hands. I rushed to get it, but he passed it on to his friend, and then his friend passed it on to another friend. I started running around trying to catch it. So they were passing around the ship, and my boyfriend finally grabbed it again. I was so angry I told him to hand it over, but he said I needed to kiss him first. He tried to throw it to his friend. Who tried to catch it but missed, and it hit the wall and broke. I lost it. I kicked all of the friends out, then had a fight with him, telling him this was a sentimental item. I demanded he pay me $3,500 because that's how much it costs. He left and called in the morning asking if I was serious about wanting him to pay, and I said I was dead serious. He said he was drunk and that I never told him about how important it was for me both monetarily and sentimentally.
Y'all, I'm literally so mad at my sister. She literally set me up. So basically last night my sister was at work, so it was just me and my dad eating dinner. Well, in the middle of us eating dinner, my sister walks in the front door, and the first thing she says is that on her way back home from work, her tail light just fell off her car. So my dad just starts yelling at her, and he's like, how did your tail light just fall off? What did you do to your car? Tail lights don't just fall off, and like basically just yelling at her. And since this literally has nothing to do with me, I ignore them. I don't care. So I'm sitting there eating my food while they're arguing, and I just hear my dad ask my sister, why did your tail light fall off? And then my sister goes quiet, like she was thinking of what to say. And then my sister literally says, it's because Kayla rear-ended my car last night. That is literally not true. I have never in my life hit her car, let alone rear end her hard enough for her tail light to fall off. So immediately I start to stand up for myself because that is a bold-faced lie. So then all of a sudden me, my dad, and my sister are all sitting there arguing. And then my dad is just like, you know what, Kayla? You're gonna have to buy your sister new tail light since you rear-ended her. And I'm like, I never rear-ended her though. And he's like, well, it makes sense that you might have because you park behind her every single day. So maybe one night you were too tired and you accidentally rear-ended her car. Because that's what your sister's saying happened. So my dad basically took my sister's side and now I have to buy my sister new tail lights. I don't know how expensive they are. I'm guessing like $30. And that's $30 I don't want to spend because I didn't even break her tail light. But she blamed it on me so that she wouldn't get in trouble. So now I have to go buy her a new tail light today. I'm so... Because now my dad's really mad at me. He's probably going to yell at me more when I get home. I wouldn't be surprised if he took my car away. On top of having to once again buy her taillight. Hashtag, y'all, I'm literally so screwed. Like, I am so stressed out right now. So basically, last night, I did not want to spend the night at my house because I wanted to have a sleepover with my boyfriend. But my dad is not about that life. He will not let me have a sleepover with my boyfriend. So I do what every single teenager does, and I tell him that I'm going to sleep at my friend's house, when in reality, I'm going to go over to my boyfriend's house and stay there. Well, I tell him that I'm going to go to my friend's house, and usually he doesn't care. He's just like, okay, have fun. But for some reason, for the first time in my entire life, he asks for my friend's parents' phone number to make sure that I'm actually going to my friend's house. When I say he has never done this, I mean never. Even when I was like 13 years old, he did not ask for my friend's parents' phone numbers. So obviously I can't say no because then that looks really sus. So I give him one of my friend's phone numbers to act like my friend's dad. So that way when my dad calls her parents, it's actually my guy friend acting like her dad, and he'll cover for me. Then he won't know I'm at my boyfriend's house. So I give him the phone number. I go over to my boyfriend's house. Everything went perfectly. I slept over at my boyfriend's house. We had a good time, whatever. And I'm over here thinking everything went perfect for once in my life. I'm like, wow, I really got away with that. Well, I get home this morning. My dad's getting ready to go to work. And he's like, you know what, Kayla? I'm like, what? He's like, I really like your friend's dad. I think we're gonna go out for drinks tonight. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I go to my room. I call the dude that acted like my friend's dad, and he told me that him and my dad had a literal 20-minute conversation on the phone, just like talking, having a good conversation. And my dad was like, yeah, I really like him. So now my dad genuinely thinks this is gonna be like one of his new friends, when in reality, it's one of my friends. So I'm like so stressed. Now I'm stressed because my dad plans on going out to get drinks with this dude tonight. But in reality, it's not a 40-year-old dude. It's one of my friends. So I'm probably going to tell my friend to literally block my dad on everything. But then I'm scared my dad's going to think that's weird and then be like, oh, you probably didn't even go there last night, did you? I don't know what to do. So yeah, I'm kind of just hoping that my dad comes home from work and is like too tired to go out. But I don't know. Oh, and did I mention that my dad knows this guy? Like, even if he did pull up and pretend to be my friend's dad, it won't work because he literally knows this guy. I've hung out with him before. He knows that he is not a 40-year-old with kids. I cannot believe this.
Story time on how I caught my 76-year-old grandpa sleeping with my 14-year-old daughter. Okay, so boom, let's jump right into it. So one day my grandpa came over to see my family. My husband was at work, so it was only me and my daughter. My daughter is 14, my grandpa is 76, and I'm 39. After my grandpa visited, the next day he came back to take my daughter out to eat. They left at 5 p.m. and came back at 12 a.m. And when they came back home, my daughter wanted my grandpa to go in the room with her. So he went upstairs with her, and naturally I found that very suspicious. Cause I mean, like, that's weird. My grandpa slept over that night, and the next day I asked them if they wanted to come visit my best friend with me. Both my grandpa and my daughter said no, but while they were in the kitchen, I put a camera in her room and in the living room. I left, and not even 10 minutes went by, and I saw everything. Okay, so boom, like I said, I got suspicious, and I put a camera in my daughter's room and in my living room. I left, and in less than 10 minutes, I looked at the cameras, and I saw everything. I quickly drove back home, and I was speeding, child. While I was driving back, I screenshotted the camera of my grandpa on top of my daughter while they were both naked. I busted down my house door and I heard moaning. I ran into the room and I kicked my grandpa in the nuts and I beat my daughter. ass. I called her dad, who came less than 5 minutes after me. While my husband handled my grandpa, I sat with my daughter and she told me that he was taking advantage of her, that he forced himself on her. She's now in therapy and he's in jail. Watch out for pervy.
So this video took place like when I was dating Enemy, of course. So one day I was at Enemy house or whatever, right? We just kicking in, chilling in, or chilling it. We kicking in, chilling or whatever, right? So his homie was there. His homie don't need no name because he's not really important, but kind of, sort of, but not really. So his homie was there. He was at his house and he was going to be at his house for like the whole weekend or whatever. I think he lived out of state or something like that. I'm not sure why his friend was there. So he was at his house or whatever. So it was probably not a week. I think he was going to be there for like the week. So it was like Saturday. He had already probably been there like a day. So his homie kept asking me, where your homegirls at? Where your homegirls at? Where your homegirls at? He kept asking me that shit. Well, you know them niggas when your boyfriend got a homie and he just really on your homegirls tough, like nigga. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, like I know this one homegirl, like she cool, like, you know, like I'll call her, whatever. So, cause Enemy was already telling me like, oh, you should call her anyway. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna call her, whatever. So I had called her and I called her. We all in the car. We all in my car, of course. So we all in the car and I had the phone on speaker. So I answered. I'm like, hey, she like, what's up, bitch? I'm like, hey, girl, you on speaker, you know, because you got to announce it. I love to tell people when they on speaker because I love for them to do that for me because, y'all, I be out of control. But anyway, so I'm like, hey, girl, you on speaker? And she's just like, oh, shit. Okay, well, when you alone, let me know because I wanted to tell you some shit. So I'm like, all right, for sure. I'm like, but where you at, girl? I'm like, she lived like an hour away. So I'm like, where you at, girl? Like, we gonna come get you or whatever. Like, you know, his homeboy in town. His homeboy, like, in the background. Yeah, where you at? Little mama, I seen your pictures. You cute. You know, doing the most. And Enemy, like, yeah, my homeboy, real fly nigga. You wanna come. Like, doing the most. I'm just like, shut up. She gonna come. Y'all ain't gotta even do all of that. So she like, okay. She was all like, well, y'all, as a matter of fact, it's crazy that you called me and asked me this. She was like, because you can come get me if you want. She was like, but I'm not at home. So I'm like, where you at, girl? She was like, well, I don't care no more. I'll let y'all know what happened. So she like, I'm in San Diego. She was like telling me, she was like, bitch, remember I was telling you I was going to San Diego for the weekend with this boy? She was like, so what happened was, I guess what happened was, the boy, he was sharing his location with his girlfriend. The whole time, my homegirl didn't even know he had a girlfriend. So he was sharing his location with his girlfriend. He didn't even know she had his location. She seen he was in San Diego. She followed him there. I don't know if she followed them from when they left or whatever, because that's weird. I'm not finna follow somebody all the way to San Diego. But anyway, or pop up. No, I don't know where he was coming from. Whatever. So she ended up popping up at San Diego at the room. It was a big argument. Basically, he drove my friend out there. So it was a big argument. And his bitch was basically like, you coming home now. Come on, fuck this bitch. I don't give a fuck how she getting home type shit, right? On day one of they little mini getaway. So I'm just like, girl, what? She was like, yeah, so you could come get me if you... She was like, can you come get me? She was like, because I'm stuck out here until tomorrow. Like, if you can't come, then the person that was going to come get me can't come get me until tomorrow. And she was like, and I can't... Like, she was like, he only got this room for one night. So I'm like, ooh, that nigga knew what he was doing. One night. They were supposed to stay the weekend. He only got the room for that one night. So I'm like, oh, okay, like... Yeah, she was like, well, if y'all want, y'all could stay here. You know, we could just make a whole little San Diego day out of it. Like, we could go out and go have drinks or whatever, like, you know, and chill. We could all spend the night and then go back in the morning. So I'm like, that sounds like a plan. So this Enemy, yeah, oh, we finna go to San Diego, da-da-da-da. Like, we finna do all of this. The homeboy, he all happy and shit, like, oh, got me a bitch. And we finna pull up to the Yago. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if anybody even call it the Yago. What the fuck? But anyway. So I'm just like, all right. But then I was like, ooh, let me see if I could use somebody's car. Like, because I had my car, but at this time my car was overheating and shit. Because your girl wasn't good at taking care of her shit. But now I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, ooh, let me see, because my car can't make it all the way to San Diego. And like San Diego is like 2 hours from LA. Traffic could be like 3-ish. I don't know. It really all depends on the day. So, in the driver. So I'm like, ooh, okay, let me see. So I'm like, I'm gonna call you right back, girl. So she's like, all right, yeah, just let me know. So I'm like, fuck, like, dang, who car can I use, y'all? Because I'm like, my grandpa would not let me use his car. He let me use his car, but not to go that far. It's like to go to the store, to go to McDonald's, to go get some food, like, you know, something like that. So I'm just like, damn, like, y'all know anybody car we could use? I don't know why I would ask two niggas with no car if they know a person with a car we could use. Anyway, so I'm like,
fuck. So then I thought about it. I'm like, oh, I know somebody's car I could use. So enemy like, who car you could use? Like, what the fuck? Like, your homegirl? I'm like, no, my homeboy. So he like, oh, hell no, what the fuck? Like, a nigga would just let you use his car, da 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 da. So I'm like, yeah, he would. Like, so I'm like, do you know? And I said the nail cycle, but I said his real name and his hood name. So he like, what? That's your homeboy? I'm like, yeah. He said, you know that nigga? I'm like, yeah. He like, what the fuck? I know him too. So I'm like, you know him? He like, yeah, I know him. What the fuck? That's crazy. So then he start asking me like, oh, you ever fucked that nigga? La da 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 da. And I'm just like, no, like, you know, that's the homeboy. Like, if I fucked him, why would I be calling to ask to use his car with you? Like, make it make sense. So he like, okay, well, call him right now. Call him up, because I'm like, I'm gonna text him. So he like, call him right now. So I'm like, all right. So I'm calling. I got it to my ear. He like, put it on speaker. Like, you put your homegirl on speaker. So I'm just like, chill, bitch. I'm just kidding. But I'm just like, all right, hold on. So I put on speaker, and he answered. He like, Simone, baby, what's up? Beautiful, da 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 da, doing the most. And I'm just like, Nail Psycho, what's up? And then here go enemy. He was just like, what's up, nigga? So Nail Psycho was like, what's up? Like, you know, like back on the phone. I'm just like, oh, that's enemy. He like, that's enemy. I'm like, yeah. He like, how you know him? Bro, you know I date him. Like, I post enemy on my Instagram all the time. Like, he knew I dated him. Like, why are you being weird? So anyway, he like, oh, what's up? Like, what's up? Like, basically, why are y'all calling me? So he like, oh, so enemy just talking to him like, bro, da, da, like, they just talking. This was not his bro. I don't know why he's calling him bro. So they just talking. And so I basically just stopped in. I'm just like, yeah, so what are you doing today? Like, you got any plans or big plans, anything like that? So he like, nah, I'm just watching the game or whatever. Like, I'm just chilling in the house. Y'all, like, what's up with y'all? So I'm like, well, I was gonna ask you a favor since you're not doing anything today. So he like, what's the favor, Simone? You know I got you. Doing the most. Like, just doing the most. So I'm like, can I use your car? So he's like, use my car? And enemy was like, yeah, could we use your car to go to San Diego to pick up her homegirl? Why would you ask? So he like, huh? Like, you know, like, what? And he like, I'm like, listen. So, and before I could even explain, he cut me off and he gonna say, what's wrong with your car? So I'm like, my car been overheating. Like, I really don't want to take that chance of even driving it that far and all this other shit. So he like, oh, okay. So I start explaining to him the situation with my homegirl. Like, she got stranded out there. She need to wait home. Da 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 da. And I told him like we was gonna go get her and come right back. So he like, oh, okay, y'all just gonna go get her and come right back? So I'm like, yeah, mind you, at this time it was probably like 1. So he like, okay, well, I'm finna run a few errands and all this other stuff, and I'm gonna be done around 4, and I'll call y'all. He was like, and you can leave your car with me, Simone, because I'm taking it to my homeboy. We gonna get that overheating fixed. We gonna see what's wrong with that. The Nail Cycle saying all of this, and here go enemy in the car just not giving a fuck that another man is trying to get my car fixed for me. Anyway, so he just like, yeah, we gonna see. He was like, yeah, so you can leave your car here. That's good. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure you get that fixed because I don't want you driving around like that, Simone. I don't want you. And yeah, so I'm just like, okay. So I'm like, all right, yeah. So he like, I'm gonna call y'all around 4. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So I call my homegirl back. I tell her, yeah, it's a go around 4. He gonna call me. We gonna get the car and swap out or whatever, and we gonna come. So she like, all right, cool. So enemy is doing the most. He's so happy about this trip, him and his little crackhead friend, and they like, oh, we gotta go get some, you know, stuff for them so they could, I guess, be okay with the drive. I could drive without having to do stuff. Like, I don't have to ever do stuff for anything. Like, what type of stuff y'all looking for? But anyway, like, only thing I'm gonna need on a road trip is like some water, some chips. But I guess they was on a different type of road trip, if you know what I mean. So they like, oh, they want to get some stuff. So I'm taking them around for them to get their items that they need for this day trip. And yeah, so whatever. So time going by, y'all, let me tell y'all, because what time did I say he said to call him at 3 or 4? I think the 4 I said. It was one of those times, like 3 or 4. So it's getting close to that time, and y'all, enemy is like, did he call you? I'm like, he said he'll call at 4. He like, oh, okay, but did he call you? Bro, it's like 3:30 right now. No, he said he'll call at 4. Even though it's like, how you got errands when you just said you was in the house chilling watching the game? But that's neither here nor there. So I'm like, whatever. So we just, time go by. So it's finally 4 o'clock. 4 on the dot. Enemies call him. Bro, what? It literally just turned 4. Like, it's only 4 o'clock, 0.2 seconds. Like, what do you mean call him right now? He said he'll call us. So I'm like, he said he'll call us. So he like, man, just call him. Like, he doing the most. Like, call him. Y'all know how drug addicts get when they ain't got they fix or whatever. So I'm just like, call him. So I call him, right? I'm like, I call him, like, it's ringing, the ring. He ain't answer the phone. So I'm just like, he ain't answer. He'll call back when he's done. So he like, man, what the fuck? Call him again. So I'm like, bro, my thing is, you have everything you need, unless you thought maybe we was gonna cross over to Tijuana and you was gonna get some more stuff that you need. I don't know why he was so, it's not your friend that we picking up. Like, bro, chill. So he really just like called me again. Bro, no, I just called him at 4 o'clock, 0.2 seconds. I'm not about to call him back at 4 o'clock, 0.3 seconds. Like, no. So he like, man, like, he getting frustrated, and his homeboy like, man, just chill. He said he'll call back. So we chilling. At this time, it's probably 4:02. 4:02. He like, man, that nigga playing. He didn't even call back. Call him back. I'm like, I'm not about to be blowing up his phone. So he like, man, what's his number? I'm gonna call him. I thought that was your bro. I'm just kidding. But he like, oh, I'm gonna call him. What's his number? So I'm like, whatever. So I gave him his number. This man is calling him back to back. When he first called him, he didn't answer. And then enemy texted him and was like, this enemy. So I was gonna say his name. Enemy texted him and was like, this enemy. So he like, oh, okay. That's all he replied back in the text. So he like, what the fuck? He not answering the phone, So he texted him like, bro, you still gonna let us get the car? Like, he just blowing him up. So mind you, at this time, probably like a whole hour go by. He just still like, man, he ain't text back. Oh, you know where that nigga hang out at? Do you know where he live? Like, maybe he want us to come over there. Maybe his phone's not working. Bro, maybe he's not done doing what he's doing. So I'm just like, bro, you doing too much. Like, you're being entirely too fucking thirsty. It's cool. Like, it's not your friend or any of your people. Like, it's my friend and she cool with whenever the fuck we come. Like, at this point, you're giving groupie, and it's really embarrassing me. It's embarrassing to me. So he was really doing the most, and it was really irritating me. And at this time, it's probably like 5:30ish. Like, oh, I thought I seen something. It was like 5:30ish. I thought I seen a spot. Anyway, so at this time, it's like 5:30ish, whatever. Probably like an hour, 30 minutes passed by. Some time passed by. He's still getting on my nerves, doing the most. Like, man, you call him back. Man, did you text him? Man, just doing the most. So at this time, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go home and I'll call y'all when it's good. You know, like, I'm over it. I'll just let her know we probably can't come. You know, she cool. She said she'll have it right tomorrow. So he like, man, whatever. You just let that nigga get off easy. Bro, it's his car. The fuck wrong with you? So I'm really like going back and forth with him because I'm like, you're doing too much. Like, at this point, you're embarrassing me because you're blowing up this man's phone. I'm like, he could be somewhere laughing at you. Man, that nigga know I get dope. He not laughing at me. Well, obviously, you over here begging to use his car. Who's the one to get money? Because he the one with the car. You not. The fuck? So I'm just like, I didn't say that to him though, because you know that's my man. So of course I ain't gonna say that to him right then and there. But if we wasn't together, I would have said that. But I'm just like, yeah, so I'm gonna go home. So I ended up going home, leaving them where they was at, and I ended up going home. So when I'm at home, it probably was like time later. Probably at this time it was probably like 7-ish. So I'm at home and I'm just on the phone with my homegirl. We on the phone and we was like on FaceTime or whatever, and we was both watching something like on FaceTime. So like together, like, you know, FaceTime and chilling. So I'm on Twitter and I'm just tweeting, like, you know, like in the bed, FaceTiming with my bitch, watching like some shit like that, right? So next thing you know, because remember the nail cycle had me on Twitter. So Big Head, if I call him Big Head, it's the nail cycle, same person, you know. So he ended up hitting me up and was like, what y'all doing? So I was like, watching a movie, because I'm thinking he meet me and my homegirl on FaceTime. And I was talking to the homegirl that was stuck in San Diego. So I'm just like, watching a movie. So then it was like, I'm gonna call you. So I'm like, okay. Mind you, I'm not mad at him because it's like, at the end of the day, he don't have to let me use shit. Like, it was like, you know, he could have said no, but you know, whatever. So he ended up calling me and he like, some more, doing the most. So I'm like, what? Like, you know, he just like, what y'all on? Where y'all at? Where are you an enemy at? What y'all on? So I'm like, I don't know what they on. I left them. I'm like, but I'm at home. You know, I'm just, you know, talking to the homegirl on the phone. Like, you interrupted that. Like, what do you want? So he like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm sorry, I had a lot to do. I ended up getting into a whole bunch of shit. Couldn't really call. You know, I be having to move those packs. You young nigga, move at work. Just kidding. He loved to make seem like he got shit going on. It's like, yeah, whatever. But he was just like, yeah, I was doing this, that, and the third. So I'm like, yeah, no, it's cool. You ain't even got to explain yourself. I'm like, it's cool. He was like, yeah, because y'all was calling me. I said, don't say y'all. I wasn't calling you like that. I called you once or probably twice because I think Enemy called him like a second time from my phone. So I'm like, it's cool. So he like, all right, well, what you doing now? Your homegirl still need that ride. He was like, I could actually take you. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, if you could take me, yeah, for sure. So he was like, all right. So I was just like, you know, over the whole thing. At this point, I'm just like, let me just pick my homegirl up. I don't need to make it a whole little thing with them anyway. So I called Enemy, but he didn't answer. He probably was off cheating or something. Who knows? So I called him and he didn't answer. And I didn't text him. So Nail Cycle ended up coming to my house, pick me up or whatever, and we start heading to San Diego. Right when I get in the car, he just the mall, okay, looking good. I probably had on a sweatsuit or something, like, you know, but I did have a bag with me because I just had the intentions. I'm thinking, okay, we go in there kind of late, so just in case we do stay tonight, like I'll have something like I could change into. So we get in the car. When we get a little bit down the freeway, so he got to me probably like at 8 or whatever. So when we get a little bit down the freeway, this is him. Yo, nigga is a bum. A bum. He's a bum. Like, the Nail Cycle is just, that head is just swinging. I thought the car was gonna flip over how much he was doing his head like that. I'm like, you need to chill because you're gonna make this car go off balance. But no, so he just dying laughing. He's like, yo, nigga's a bum. And at this point, at first I laughed with him a little bit, kiki, and then it was just like okay, chill, he's a bum. So he like, man, that nigga is really calling another grown man, begging to use his whip. Oh my God. And he was gonna let this nigga get his girl car fixed. Bro, that nigga's a bum. He probably somewhere high as hell doing bum shit. Like, he just was going off on him. And I'm just like, why you didn't say that to him? He was like, and he thought I was gonna let him use my car? Nigga, what? Oh no. Like, he's doing the most. He's really yelling in the car. And I'm just like, am I in the car with Meek Mill or Big Head? Because why are you so loud? So he just really yelling like he's a bum. Like, okay, we get it, he's a bum. So he just like, and I was never gonna let that nigga get in my car. The fuck I look like? That nigga stupid as fuck. If I were to pull up, I was really gonna beat that nigga ass. Bro, why you didn't just tell him that? You could have just said that from the jump. Like, you could have just said that. It wasn't that deep. So I'm like, you should have just said that. Like, it wasn't that serious. I'm like, you didn't have to play the role like you was his friend if you really wanted to fight him. And he just like, he's a bum, a grown man begging. And I said, yeah, he may have been begging, but at least he was real with his shit. You wasn't real to tell him that you wanted to fight him or you don't like him or no. Like, you was on the phone. Like, he just like, whatever, Simone, whatever. So after that, the car ride kind of got a little silent because it's like, bro, you just really dissed my mans. Even though you speaking the truth, but you just dissed him. So anyway, the car ride kind of silent. We listening to music. Next thing you know, it's probably like an hour into the ride. Mind you, I had called Enemy like before the Nail Cycle even got to me. So it's like an hour into the ride. And I had never texted him and say like, hey, I ended up going over. So it's like an hour into the ride and he ended up calling me. So I'm like, oh, turn that down real quick. It's Enemy. And he like, man, fuck that nigga. So I'm like, yeah, but just turn it down a bit. I gotta answer the phone. So I answer the phone and he like, hello? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? Like, you know what's in my ear. And he like, oh, what's up? Like, you called me? And I'm just like, yeah, I was just calling you to let you know that Big Head came and picked me up and we on our way to San Diego to pick my homegirl up. So he like, what? Put the phone on speaker. Put it on speaker. So I'm like, I looked over to Big Head and I'm like, I'm about to put it on speaker. He want to talk to you. So he like doing the most like, you know, but you ain't saying shit. So I'm just like, whatever. So I put on speaker. And Enemy like, bro, what the fuck happened today, man? Oh, we was really looking forward to it. You know, all this other bullshit. So here go Big Head. Here go the Nail Cycle. I couldn't believe the words that came out this man's mouth after this. He said, bro, man, what the fuck? Nah, I'm sorry, man. I had so much running around to do. You know me, because I'm big in these streets. They calling me Big Meech around these towns. Who calling you that? Who calling you that? So he just doing the most like, Leah, they calling me this. Like, nigga, if anything, they're calling you Lamar. I'm just kidding, but no. So he like, yeah, they calling me Big Meech, da 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 da. I was running around, I was doing this, and he like, man, bro, I got you. Just because of that, next time I see you, I'm gonna give you an 8. Just for you, just on that. You don't even gotta pay me. And I'm just sitting here like, I could have swore you just said you would slap that nigga. He's a bum, a bummity bum. Like, what? So I'm sitting here like, what? So I'm like, okay, yeah, so we on the way to San Diego. I'll let you know when whatever happens, like, I'll let you know. So he like, oh man, yeah, how far y'all could come get me? And he like, man, I will turn around right now for you. This the nail salon. I'm just like, yeah, no, we ain't gonna turn around. I'm like, and I really was doing something on my phone, so I'll just let you know what's up when we get there. Like, I'll let you know. He like, why you acting weird? Like, man, me and my bro vibing on the phone. Like, you doing the most. And here go the nail cycle. Yeah, you doing the most. Somehow. Nah. Like, bro, why are you screaming my name and dragging it like that? So I'm just like, yeah, okay, bye. Hang up. Because at this point, he called me back an hour later, and it sound like he just woke up. So you most definitely, you and that homeboy who's thirsty for bitches was outside with some bitches. So stay with them bitches and don't call my phone. I'm in the car with the nail cycle for some reason right now. What you do for your friends, right? Cause so anyway, we in the car, and he just like, man, that nigga's a weirdo. After I get off the phone, bro, he's weird. You just said you was gonna front him some weed. Like, how's he weird? How is he weird? I'm just like, if anybody's weird, it is you. And I said, I'm like, you're weird. I'm like, why do you keep playing with this man? Like, y'all cool and y'all not, you don't like him. He like, man, cause that's how you get a nigga off guard, and then I'm gonna slap the fuck out that nigga. So I'm like, what are you gonna slap him for? So then he like, oh, because one time we went to jail together. No, y'all didn't. I'm just like, yeah, so I cut the music back up because I ain't had time to hear these lies and shit. Like, okay, Big Meech, okay, Lamar. So anyway, we drive, we finally get to San Diego. It's probably like 10 or ish or whatever. So when we get there, my homegirl, she was just like, I'm like, we pulled up to the room, and she just immediately comes outside. No bags, nothing, but she come outside. She was like, let's get a bottle. Like, I need to drink. Like, immediately just, I'm like, okay. So he like, yeah. So she was like, told him like, let's go to the little bars and stuff. Me and her was not 21. The nail cycle was over 21, but I'm like, okay, we could try to get in. If it don't work out, we just get a bottle and come back to the room. We could drink, eat, whatever, do whatever. So we went to in San Diego, Gas Lamp Quarter. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, the Gas Lamp Quarter. So we went over there. You know, it's all those bars and shit like that, restaurants. We ended up going into this one bar, and they didn't even ask us for no ID or whatever like that. So I'm like, cool. So we go up in there, we drinking, we just having a good time, you know, everything is cool. The nail cycle, you know, he up in there bopping that big old head, you know, doing the most, and we just having a good time, you know. So it was one point, y'all, I'm the friend, when we go out, I always gotta pee. I'm the peer. Ugh, so annoying. But I'm not gonna drag you with me unless the scene just look real creepy and I'm gonna need both of us to go, because we don't want to just be standing. But if it's just a cool, like, I'm good, I ain't too drunk, I could go to the bathroom, I know my surroundings, you know. So I'm like, all right, so I left to the bathroom, whatever. When I come back, the nail cycle, my homegirl, they talking, whatever, laughing, catting it up. So at this point, we was already like getting into like whatever. So I'm like, let's go. I didn't get too faded because I knew, because she had already told him that we was gonna stay, like we could stay the night or whatever. And I'm like sleeping in the same area with the nail cycle. I'm not about to get too drunk. This nigga's weird. So I'm like, yeah, so I didn't get too drunk. And it's crazy, y'all, because when we was gonna use the nail cycle car, we never told him we was gonna stay the night, but that's what we was gonna do. We wasn't gonna bring that man car back that same day. We was gonna bring it back to him the next day. But it was like, at that point, what he had done, but shit, he didn't let us use it no way. So anyway, we get back to the room, and we just up in there, we talking, laughing it up or whatever. And the nail cycle, we up in there laughing and talking and shit, vibing. The white nail cycle texts me and gonna say, you look so good. I'm just like, here he go with this weird shit, bro. Like, we're right here. It's just the three of us. You could set that out loud. You could have said that in the car on the way here. Like, I look the same. I didn't do anything different. So I'm just like, here he goes. So we just talking, laughing. So at this point, remember I told you I had my bag with me. So I was like, I'm gonna get in the shower, because when I go out drinking or whatever, or anything, like if I cannot, I'm not laying in the bed feeling dirty. Like, I need to get in the shower. So I'm like, I'm gonna get in the shower, right? I go get in the shower, and they just out there talking, whatever. Y'all, when I be in the shower, I don't know why I be wanting to watch stuff. Like, when I'm in the shower, I be like watching YouTube or shit like that, or just listening to videos, like listening to music, like something. So I'm in the shower, prop my phone up by the sink, and you know, just got the YouTube playing, whatever. So they in there, they talking, whatever, but I kept hearing my phone go like boom, like, you know, because I keep my phone on vibrate. Like, I don't like all that sounds and shit. So I hear my phone just boom, boom, boom. So I'm like, who the fuck blowing my phone? So I'm thinking, you know what, it's enemy or whatever. You know, I don't know why I wouldn't think it's the weirdo in the other room who likes to text me when we're in the same room together. You know, I don't know why I didn't think it was him. So when I get out the shower, y'all, I see a message, and it was just like, I wish I could have took that shower with you. From the nail cycle. So I'm like, the fuck, this nigga is weird. So I got out the shower and I was like, boy, like I just screamed it out the room. I was like, boy, bye. Like I just screamed it out the bathroom or whatever. So I go back in the room and the nail cycle was like, oh, I'm about to get in the shower too. So my homegirl like, all right, go ahead. So when I come back inside of the room, she just looking at me. She was like, bitch. And I'm like, what? She was like, why you didn't tell me? I was like, tell you what? She was like, stop playing. So I'm like, stop playing with what? Like, what are you talking about? She was like, why you didn't tell me? She was like, that big head nigga told me everything. She was like, he told me not to tell, but you my bitch, and I'm concerned why you didn't tell me. So I said, what did he tell you? That he didn't let us use the car? That enemy's a bum? Like, what did he tell you? So she was like, he already told me. He was like, this nigga, when I was in the shower, told my friend that me and him had been having an affair. Bro, I'm not even married. Like, what? Anyway, he gonna say that me and him have been having an affair, that I've been cheating on enemy with him for like 5 months now. Mind you, at this time, me and enemy haven't even been together 5 months. He gonna say I've been cheating on enemy for like 5 months and that I'm just out of it and I don't want to be with him no more and I'm falling in love with the big head guy and that I just don't know what to do. I feel so bad for enemy, but I want to call it off. So that's why I brung him on this trip to San Diego, because I wanted to get a getaway, you know, so enemy could get the picture. So I said, what? She was like, yeah. He said that you're just so embarrassed and you're afraid because you feel bad about what you're doing to enemy, so you didn't want to tell nobody. But he was all like, he just wanted to tell me so that I could tell you, like, I like him for you. You should be with him. But he was like, but don't tell her that you know that we together. That me and her is together. So I said, bitch, you gotta be kidding me. I said, that nigga told you all of that? She said, yeah. I said, she was like, yeah, why you didn't tell me? I said, bitch, you got me fucked up. And I started dying laughing. I said, she like, well, I'm like, to believe any of that shit that nigga said. I said, do it look like I like him? Like, bro, we was in the whole bar, clubbish, lounge thingy together. I ain't dance with you. I ain't even touch. What? So I was like, girl, stop playing. He told you that? She like, yeah. So at this point, I'm kind of drunk, funny. Like, I'm irritated, but I'm like laughing, but it's just all in one. So I'm just like, no, this nigga didn't. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck? So like, when he got out the shower, I'm gonna say something to this nigga. I'm like, I'm not gonna do the most, but I'm gonna say something to him. She like, what? Like, what? No. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna say something to him. So y'all, he ended up getting out the shower or whatever with his ugly ass, and I'm just like, I'm just like, bro. I said, what'd you tell my homegirl? I said, don't be lying on me. I said, I don't know if I ever gave off those vibes. I said, but that ain't never happened. We ain't nothing. He was like, what? Y'all is drunk as hell. Hold on. I'm gonna take this call outside though. Bro, your phone didn't even fucking ring. So he ended up going outside the room. I was like, this nigga's weird. Like, you know, so when he's outside the room, this nigga gonna text me talking about, I'm sorry, LOL. Y'all, I'm just like, the fuck? Sorry for what? Like, so I'll show her. I said, girl, this nigga's weird. So me and her, we just laying back, watching TV, laughing and shit like that. By the time he came in there, it was like way later to where I forgot about the whole situation. And I had already said why he lied anyway. He just didn't address it. He just left. But, you know, so he came back. He slept on the floor. We slept on the bed because it was one bed. So, y'all, when I tell y'all, I woke up to messages saying, wish I could have ate that cat. Ooh, we should have snuck off to the bathroom. I should have woke you up in the middle of the night. You look so good when you sleep. LOL. I took a picture. Bro, for one, I don't even look good when I sleep. Like, y'all, I don't. When I have these eyes big now, but when these lashes off, these eyes are huge. Like, y'all, what the fuck is wrong with him? So I'm just like, and I be drilling too. Like, I'm just like, so I woke up to these text messages and I was just like, yo, stop playing with me so fucking much. I'm like, you doing too much? And he like, oh, I was drunk. That was the alcohol talking. Okay, so it was time to leave or whatever. So we ended up going back to LA or whatever. She ended up coming to my house still. So we go back to LA, right? So he ended up dropping us off. Boom, boom, boom. Some hours go by. We chilling at my house. And oh yeah, when we was at the bar, they had exchanged Instagrams or whatever. So some time go by, we chilling at my house or whatever. Why she was like, bitch, what the fuck? And she showed me a message. Oh, it's 11:11. Hold on, I gotta make a wish. All right, I'm back. So she was like, she showed me a message. He DM'd her and he gonna say, hey, he was all like, I didn't want to make things awkward between us, but I could tell that you really liked me. He was all like, since Simone is still doing her thing with Enemy, I really don't mind to do my thing. And he was like, and I could see that old boy left you there and you seem to really need some money. If you wanted to suck my dick, you could have made $40. She showed me this man. She said, I'm gonna cuss him the fuck out. So I'm just like, bro. And when I say he's annoying, he do annoying shit like that. Like he'll do annoying that shit like that. You could cuss him the fuck out and he'd be like, ooh, I knew you liked it. And he'll be like, bitch, I just, what? Like, you know. So I'm just like, yo, I got mad. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I hit him up. I'm just like, bitch, leave my fucking friend alone, you weird ass nigga. Like, she do not fucking want you. And he just like, oh, she deleted the messages. She's not gonna tell you what she was saying to me. I wouldn't just randomly bring up $40 and sucking dick if she didn't even mention it to me. He was like, but it just wasn't the right time and da 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 da. And I said I wouldn't hurt you. He said, and when I mentioned you an enemy, he was like, the fuck I look like? I know damn well we and you don't talk, but when I mentioned that, I just meant I don't want to fuck up our friendship by messing with your homegirl. So I'm just like, bro, my friend tell me everything. I'm just like, bro, my friend tell me, I didn't tell him my friend told me everything, but my friend tells me everything. If she wanted to talk to him, she would have talked to him. She would have told me that. Like, it's not like I had any interest in him and she knew that. Like, if she wanted to talk to him, I'm pretty sure she would have been like, hey, Simone, what's up with you and him? And I'd be like, nothing at all. You got this, girl. So, y'all, my bad. So I'm just like, why is he lying? Like, he's weird as fuck for that. So I'm like, girl, just block him. Like, he's weird as fuck. And she was just so mad because she's just like, what the fuck? Like, he's weird. Like, I was over here telling you, like, what's going on with me, but I didn't know he meant. I said, girl, you could have just said hi to that nigga, just hi, and he still would have took it the wrong way. I'm like, he's just weird. Like, he's just something wrong with him.
Hi guys, thank you for watching. I love you guys so much. Please like and subscribe to see more great videos. See you again.